Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight's show is going to be about pixies and fairies. Let's see what kind of trouble Gabriella can get into tonight. Linda's waiting patiently. She wants, you know how bad it is when she's asking Pee Wee for help. You know it's bad. So we're hoping that this is going to be a real interesting show. I had done a little research myself on it, but tonight is all about the research that Gabriella found on it because, as you know, if you watch some of our prior episodes, hi Linda, if you watch some of our prior episodes, you heard us touch base on Gabriella and Abby had an experience with, they think it was a fairy. They swear it was something, a pixie or a fairy. They swear they saw something. So we decided, hey, what better topic to discuss? So um, we may do a later episode involving like imps and sprites and some the other things like that that kind of blend and tie in. There's nymphs, there's sprites, there's fays, which is just more or less another name for a fairy, and imps. I'm sure we'll find a lot that's similar. But before we start, as y'all know, Gabriella does her state fun facts.
So the first fun state fact is Arizona. In Arizona, the Volta. This is gonna go.
This is going to be a nice evening. Hi, Cactus Moonlight.
Oh,
great seeing you again. Woo woo.
It's been a while.
Woo woo. We should make Cactus a moderator too.
We can.
Yeah.
Well, does she want to be a moderator?
I don't know. We can ask.
You have to make sure.
Well, we'll ask. Go ahead. Just.
Anyways, that was a little loud. The bola tie is the official state neckwear of Arizona. What did you do? What are you trying to do?
I just pushed out to make sure it was on the right button. Just chill.
You're trying to sabotage our stream.
Not at all.
I just can feel it.
Not
already.
at all. Go ahead.
Anyways, the next one is the most expensive diamond ever discovered in the U.S. was found in Arkansas. The 8.52 carat diamond was found at the Crater of Diamonds State Park in
that place,
Murfreesboro, Arkansas in 2015 by Bobby whatever, and she named it after her niece. So it's called the Esperanza Diamond. And wow. It was fashioned into a necklace and it's worth an estimated $1 million.
Can you imagine an 25 carat diamond? 52. So might as well say 8.5, a little over 8.5, shaped into a necklace. That's like a big rock on your neck. Holy moly.
Rich people be crazy.
Holy moly. Well, yeah, you're going to be rich with that size diamond.
Anyways, the third one is the state is home to over 100 ghost towns, and that would be California. This is one of the most famous ghost towns in California is Bodie. The gold mining town was once home to 10,000 people, but was fully abandoned in 1942, with some people seemingly having packed their belongings mid-meal.
Wow.
That's a little scary.
So what made them leave? The ghosts?
I guess. It says that in 2021, a photographer said the town looked like people were abducted by aliens with homework still on desks in the school and found on the table in pots on the stove inside homes.
We're gonna have to do some research on that and do
I will take a
yeah,
screenshot.
and do a little story on that because that now definitely captivated my interest. That is
Captivated?
something I'm curious now.
There we go.
That piqued my curiosity.
I added
Cactus,
that.
if you want to be a moderator on here, just let us know and we'll get you hooked up here. I think Gabriella knows how to do that. I'm a little bit weird.
Have to go through YouTube to do that.
Yeah, so we'll get you here, hooked up on it sometime here. And yeah, see, Kiwi, she'll get you. She'll tell you how fun this can really be.
Oh Lord.
We missed you, Cactus. We did. We missed you. Um, and I'm calling out to all of our friends on all channels. Our dear friend Conscious Muse, we were having communications with her throughout, like she did that nice documentary on the gel and everything. She was contacting us regularly, and I know she was having a little bit of health issues, but we haven't heard from her in a while. So if anybody knows anything about her or what happened or where she's at or what she's doing and that she's okay, please, please, please contact either Gabriella or I and let us know because we have her on our thoughts and we want to know just that she's okay. So, we'll just, I don't think anybody's heard from her for a while. So we're just a little bit concerned. Um, okay. So as you know, it's all right. Okay. As you know, tonight we're going to go be talking about pixies and fairies now. I think a lot of people think that pixies and fairies are pretty much the same, but there are differences, and the differences are interesting. Now, I'm only going to do what the differences is between them, and Gabriella is going to take over, and she's going to do what she found in her research. Anybody have any questions? You have a comment in between? We'll put it up on screen. We'll do our best to try to acknowledge your questions, your comments, what we can. Yeah, Conscious Muse, she was contacting us regularly. Like if she wasn't contacting Gabriella, she was contacting me and just a real sweetheart. And like I said, she did an amazing documentary on for the jail, among other documentaries. And it's just almost like we haven't seen her for a while. And we looked at each other a couple days ago where they're like, wonder what happened to Conscious. So if there's anybody that can find any info on her, or if you can contact her over us, tell her we're thinking about her and we miss her and we hope that everything's okay. So, okay. Pixies. Pixies often have pointy ears and are more elf-like in appearance, whereas fairies are typically more human-like and delicate. They're very, very delicate, but they have more human features, which I'm sure you know that because you did your research. And their behavior now. A pixie, their normal behavior is they're known to be mischievous and enjoy playing pranks on humans, whereas fairies, they can be either benevolent or malevolent, depending on the story that's told surrounding, I guess, the area, the where you find them at, where you see them at, different things like that. So, now also pixies are more on the supernatural side in nature. Fairies are natural or nat. Fairies are nature elementals that arise from the natural world. So fairies have magical powers. Pixies usually lack magic. And pixies are mostly found in Celtic folklore, and they're only about 4 inches tall and are known to live in gardens. So that's the differences that I found between pixies and fairies. And Gabriella can take the show over in her research that she.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
That's okay.
I gotta reach my notes.
That she found. So, when did they first appear? I'm hoping Gabriella can answer that question for you.
I
Did you find that information?
The only thing that I could find was they've been around for a while. They have been a thing for quite a while.
So, Cactus, before Gabriella starts, you are acting mod now with Linda and Eric until we can officially get you on the YouTube channel. And then the next time you come on, well, yeah, you
Are
can
you
do it
on
on
our YouTube channel? Yeah.
Oh,
Stop it! Stop touching things.
stop touching things. Abby said they changed the way you hook mods up on here now. So, because she said YouTube got cranky like some of these other things. But we'll get you fixed up. Until then, you know you are a mod, so you have every power to say something and get one of the other mods. Promote everybody's channel, promote Kiwi, Eric, promote anybody that comes on, promote their channel, promote ours. You guys are awesome as it is. I don't know how Abby, Linda, I wonder if Linda remembers how Abby got on there. She literally had to go on YouTube.
Oh, so you probably.
I think you have to go on Conversation Corner probably on YouTube and add her as a mod there.
Mom, the Conversation Corner is our Real Talk thing. That's just the email.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
No, I bet you have to go into YouTube Studio.
So let's see. Abby did it through YouTube. Oh, that's right. She had to go through YouTube Studio.
Yep,
Thank you
that's
for
what
reminding me that, Linda.
That's what I just said.
Yep.
Music.
Yep. YouTube Studio. You see, that's for our lurking spirits. I don't have it for.
Mother.
I don't have the because you have the account thing on yours. I don't have it on my phone. I'm not. I can't get into it.
Why doesn't your phone make this act up, but mine does?
I don't know. Your phone's
Take
a little bit
this.
crazy, I guess. So
You're gonna
anyhow,
hear
she
interference.
knows she's a mod. So I mean, it's not physically going to probably let her do anything, but she is going to be a mod. You will get it fixed up, get it straightened. As soon as she gets the messes with that, we'll get all going. Let me see some of the comments. Ban and block annoying people. Yep, grab the ban hammer. Absolutely. Alias mods help us each other. Yep, exactly, Linda. No one asked where she was. Linda, I know you reached out for me and Gabriella to Conscious, and it's just odd. It's almost just like she just totally disappeared. You can't even find any of her documentaries or anything like that that she made. So E squared, yeah. Way to go! We got all of our peeps coming on. She's just checking B squared. She's looking for this YouTube studio so we can make Cactus a mod too. Now, ladies, don't forget I have my other channel. Linda already knows. Please be sure to catch me on the other side. I'm going to be here maybe tomorrow. I'll be doing my Aleister Crowley. And of course, on Thursdays, you'll be seeing me and Abby doing our poetry. And so we want to try to get that channel built up a little bit too. It's going to take a little time. But however, I do have some views. I do have, I think, 11 subscribers already. So woo woo! I'm going to love play with these buttons now, folks, so don't mind me. If my husband bought it for me, I'm going to show him that I like it. So you're going to have to deal with it and my craziness. I can get Abby. Abby will. You have to go. She had to go in through the YouTube studio and go. I can't even remember how she did it. So we'll get it. Just let's just go on. We'll get it.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, well,
Hold on.
I'm getting the static. Are you guys hearing static on your end, or are we just don't? You are?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
so it's the interference.
yeah,
with
it's
my
with
phone for some
Gabriella's
reason.
phone, so please bear with us while she's trying to get that taken care of. Yeah, we'll get Abby to get her on.
I will figure it out, Mother.
Yeah, but we got all that static because of the phone, and it's driving
Just
me
add
crazy.
as moderator.
There you go. Right there.
So she could be a managing moderator or standard?
I don't know what everybody else is,
Probably managing.
but I don't care. So it should show up.
There we
Yeah,
go.
okay. Okay, as soon as she gets and pulls that phone away, then get that static out, she can start her little. Sorry about that, guys. It makes us seem like we don't know what we're doing. We actually do. It's just that
For the most part.
for the most part, it's just always Gabriella. My goodness, I'm telling you, like it's just, jeez, jeez, oh, willikers, jeez. Okay, that's better, right, guys? No static now, hopefully. Sounds to me on my end pretty crystal clear, so. I'm multitasking tonight, just caught the blossom part. Okay, well, Abby.
Wrong
We were
child.
just talking about
Wrong
Abby.
child.
We were talking about,
Unacceptable. Don't
you know,
care.
you were my favorite.
Damn.
Damn, you
That
know,
was
I love my children.
that was just vicious.
I love my
I
children.
don't want to talk about
I love
pixies
my
anymore.
children. Hey, think about this. They go over to the store the other day. They know that I love this new Gallagher's coffee here, and they buy some. They bring it home, and they're looking like, say what? Where's mine at? So that shows where the real love
Listen
is.
here, mother.
No, that's where the real love is.
No,
That's where
listen.
the real love is.
I asked my man if he would get me one. Well, no, he said, "Do you want one from the store?"
So now you're going to blame it on the man's.
It was the man's. He's the one who went to the store. I stayed home.
He was the one that went to the store.
So you can blame him too.
Well, no, you could have said, hey, by the way, you know, Mama likes that stuff.
We
So.
didn't have that much money,
Oh,
mother.
bullshit that.
He had enough to get his peppers,
Bullshit that.
the stuff for his peppers,
Bullshit that.
and then the drink.
Okay, we're going to get started.
The static is this fairy being a little trickster.
It is.
It could be.
See, they're known to do that stuff. Actually, when she starts telling you what they're capable of, then you'll know that's exactly what it was. And we said we have something here in the dining room, so that's probably what it was. That's probably why you're seeing those little sparkles all around, because it's
pixie dust.
the pixie
I
dust.
told you.
Exactly. So there you go.
Anyways.
Go forth and go on.
Anyways. So first we're going to talk about pixies. And a pixie basically is a magical creature of British folklore. And pixies are speculated to be particularly concentrated in the high moorland areas around Devon and Cornwall, suggesting whatever I wrote. Celtic origin or the belief in the name.
So yeah, that's what I found in mine, Celtic, right here. Pixies are mostly found in Celtic folklore. Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
So, we're gonna get to what they do. Like what
You hear Max?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sounds like a brake on a car or something.
Yeah, so if you're hearing like a screeching like a brake or like somebody deflating a balloon, that's our dog.
Yeah, that's Max.
That's how he cries. It's weird.
Not like that.
Not like that, but
might want to take him to the vet or something like that.
That's a little bit.
Anyways, back to pixies. What they do. Pixies are in between not cursed by God or especially blessed. And it says they do the unexpected, they bless the land and are forest creatures whom other wild creatures find alluring and non-threatening. They love humans, taking some for mates, and are nearly ageless. They're winged, flittering from place to place.
So they're ageless. I wonder how long, did you find out in your research how long they live?
No.
Neither one of them? And you don't have a date when they first started, when people first started seeing them? We're going to have to do a little bit more research.
I will do more research, but I did hella research on all of this.
Yeah, she was researching.
I was typing my little fingers
She was researching.
Clicking. So this is where it gets kind of crazy. They have powers. And the powers that they have are
now, are these for the pixies yet or for the fairies?
For the pixies.
Okay.
They only have 4 powers, and one is a hallucinogenic, which is pixie dust. It's the power that causes auditory and visual hallucinations. So pixie dust is not good.
So if you run into a pixie, they sprinkle you with pixie dust and you start hallucinating. I guess
it depends on if you like scared it or if it feels threatened.
So it's like a skunk. If you back it up, it's going to piss on you. Then you back them up.
You'd be like, whoa, pretty.
What pretty.
Where am I?
Boy, pretty pictures. Look at that. Rainbows. Butterflies. Anyways, that's weird. That's very interesting.
It is weird. I was like, well, pixie dust isn't just this magical dust.
So it could be fun. It'd be like as if I never did marijuana or anything, but I would imagine somebody's a pothead, you know, like
you're tripping. Like,
I'm tripping, man. Is that really a thing flying up there in that air? What is that? Look at the rainbows.
Like, no, it's a Tyrannosaurus.
It's a pixie. Oh my God, it's Tinkerbell.
The second power that they possess is flight. Obviously, they have wings, which are insectoid wings.
So I wonder if they're more like dragonfly wings or if they're like smaller. Are they more elongated or are they?
Because the thing is, when me and Abby could have sworn we saw a pixie it's got to be a pixie now because fairies are little assholes.
We'll get into that.
It had like Tinkerbell wings. Like, it didn't look like an insect, and who knows, Linda? It could be.
So now describe your pixie.
So the pixie that we saw, like, we didn't see if it had clothes on or anything. It just like flew by us, but we saw its face and like a little like hairstyle, and it sounds absolutely insane. And we saw its little pointy wings. It looked.
So it had pointy wings.
It had like Tinkerbell wings.
Okay. And Abby said it was green.
Yes, it was green. It was like
because she said it was blended into the tree. Like they was looking at something. They're like, okay. Then all of a sudden it flew out, and it kind of looked like the leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Abby said too.
It was really interesting. The third power that they possess is spellcasting and granting. It says interdimensional teleportation and demons banishment.
So they're good for banishing demons. So they are really good. I want a pixie now. So we can take a little
Well,
pixie in a jar.
I have what they eat and what they like.
We're gonna have to lure Pixie because if we go on one of our investigations and we think we're running into something a little bit, so here, little Pixie, help us out. Here, little buddy. I'll have to give it a little name. Keep it in. Not. We wouldn't want to have it in a jar. That'd be cool. Have it in like a little. Put it in our pocket, like that little twiggy thing that was on Fantastic
Picket?
Beasts. Picket, yeah. Was it Picket?
Picket.
Picket?
Pick.
Pick something. Pick, not my nose, but pick it. I don't pick it.
Was it Picket?
Eric, was it Picket? Eric?
What?
Was that Picket on Fantastic Beasts?
I don't even remember.
His little like stick friend that was shy. Was it Picket?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, I thought you would have remembered. My goodness
I think it was
gracious.
Picket. Get the mouse out of there so we can actually see the comment.
Get the what?
The mouse.
Oh, when I was young, we'll do that. When I was younger, I used to think those praying mantis bugs were fairies. I think those and dragonflies, because dragonflies had that real elongated body, but praying mantis I could see because it has that head and it
Well, even
like
kind of
little arms.
even like some wasps, their legs stick
Yeah.
down. They're kind of
That's true too. And those wasps down in South Carolina are big.
big.
Those freaking things like so.
But they were red and they go bzzz.
Yeah.
And this thing didn't make any noise. Well, we heard a flutter and then it was gone.
Where did it go?
Just like into a tree.
Yeah, his name was Pickett. He's a bell truckle.
Okay. So I thought that's what it was. We wasn't sure.
It's kind of because you're asking me questions now, but there's like a whole like 10-second delay between what I'm hearing in real life and what I'm hearing through the screen.
Oh.
It's messing with me.
Do you guys have a little bit of a lag tonight again on your end?
Well, they won't know because they're not here with.
Yeah, it
okay.
automatically kind of.
It's only me.
And a cheer.
Okay, let's continue. We're getting a little bit whacked here tonight, folks. Okay, and B Squared says, whenever I hear about pixies, I think about the Hollows series by Kim Harrison about a charm slinging witch named Rachel Morgan. I don't know if I saw the Hollows series.
That
Did you?
Be kind of more of, I would say, like a nymph.
Really?
Yeah. If I read right when I was looking up pixies and fairies and whatever else, nymphs, I believe they are kind of like sirens. Like they're gorgeous.
Oh, so they kind of lure you
into the water and you'll drown.
Oh, snap. And to change the subject entirely, remember when you was covering squonks?
Yeah.
There's another one called a quonk or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah. So we might have to get back in that
we'll
again.
Get back
too.
into squonks and
gonks and little quonks or whatever the heck they are. But wow.
All the things, all the weird named things. Okay. So the fourth power that a pixie possesses is soul dagger granting, which basically is the ability to harm both magical and non-magical beings and entities.
So they can be good, but they can also be bad. I know they're mischievous. So is it the mischievous
I guess
part?
It kind of depends on their personality. Like most of them are good, but there's some of them that are just like
humans. You've got your nice humans and you got your real nasty ass.
Really good personality person. And then you get a really bad one.
You're learning me stuff. Things. You're learning me stuff.
Next page. If you ever wanted to know what a pixie's weakness is, I gotcha. So pixies have wings and generally have a flight speed similar to human walking speed.
That would be actually kind of fast because if they're little and
However, they can perform a quick 30-mile-per-hour dash in a pinch.
holy shit.
That's why
So
we
that's
barely saw that thing.
yeah, well, and not only that, that's probably why they're little when you see the sparkles, because if they're like kind of glowy and that's all you're gonna see is like their pixie dust.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But their weakness and liabilities are iron and silver. It's toxic to the touch for pixies. So much, in fact, that it burns their skin on contact. So it's kind of like Maleficent.
That's sad.
She was I think she was a pixie.
So if you tried to catch it or it landed in your hand, you had an iron or silver on you, like say you had a silver ring, you could hurt that little bugger.
Yeah.
You could hurt it.
Don't hurt it.
No, that's sad.
It is sad, but
So please don't ever try to catch them like in a metal cage, especially if it's silver or iron.
yeah.
Oh, that's sad. I think I'm gonna cry.
Don't cry.
That's sad.
No pixies were hurt in the making of this film.
They are
Quick little
quick
guys.
little
They
guys. My goodness, they're like little bullets there.
I assume that they kind of watched like humanity over time, and they're like, "Oh shit, we're tiny. They like tiny things. We don't want them to kind of know."
Well, imagine anything like that. You see something, we would be giants. So it'd be like Jack and the Beanstalk, little,
Yeah, they just
like you're
fly
going to be
away.
afraid. That's going to be your natural instinct.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, that's still sad.
Flitter.
Aw.
Uh,
Zoom. I like her other comment. Listen to this one. They hit that booster switch. I love that. Great. Those are great comments, I'm telling you.
So, some things that pixies don't like. They don't like rude, greedy, and cruel people, and often single them out to be the victims of their pranks.
I wonder what kind of pranks they pull off.
Probably just little ones. Oh. Oh man.
That was a pixie kiss.
It was a pixie kiss. Oh man.
Iron also disrupts spirits per supernatural. That's true too.
Oh, that was just awesome.
There you go.
Oh, that's
Yeah. So very good. I love you guys. You're all interacting tonight. It's making me emotional.
She's getting very emotional, guys. Okay, we gotta pet her. We gotta
You're petting me?
Pet. I don't know. You like
When do you pet another? You're supposed to hug and
embrace?
console
Is
and
that-
embrace, but not.
That's you don't go like, oh, it's okay.
Okay. You were.
Oh man, I really don't want to. Linda.
Yeah, she does. I like that too. Nitro wings. This is a good show
Back
tonight.
on
already.
topic. Since we're talking about Vegemite and that I have to eat it, what do pixies eat?
What do pixies eat?
Are said to feast on meals consisting of fruits like berries, and the sweetness of honey is a reoccurring theme in tales of their banquets.
So, I'm wondering if you go where there's bees at, where there's their hives, I wonder if you would have a better chance of running into a pixie in that area.
I guess it depends on. See, when I think of like fairies and pixies and everything, I think of like Tinkerbell and how they have their own little like routine and they're just doing all the things that they're doing. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it's not on their schedule for that day.
They only do that on
That's
Thursdays.
an only Thursday thing. On Tuesdays, they go to pick their berries.
I wonder if they have to do laundry.
Who knows?
Little pixie outfits. Can you see little tiny
Aw,
pixie
yeah,
outfits?
tiny pixie outfits.
And as you wait later on, you'll find out Gabrielle, I'm sure, will have her own theory on pixies and fairies. So be prepared, be ready, because it might be a good one.
But we'll see.
And Cactus goes, hey, I tell my friend to pet my back and my hair all the time.
See? You pet to calm someone down, you it's okay. Or you pat their back and be like, it's all right.
Petting. I don't know. I've seen
It's-
people
okay,
petting hair.
I want to
so.
say petting. It's like,
But you would call it petting. The way stroking would be considered petting. I guess when you're stroking a cat, you're petting a cat. It's the same thing. So I can accept that. It's
I'm not crazy.
stroking, but it's petting. We'll accept it. We'll accept it.
We'll accept it. Pixies live in gardens and love nectar.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm wondering if the
Crows.
honey part of it is from the nectar, or if it's actually maybe they hang around where, like I said, where if you're going to see bees around, that since they like gardens and that somewhere around that area is where you're most likely to run into a pixie. I want to see a pixie.
Why are we reversed?
I don't know. Why are we reversed?
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. Don't blame me.
Can't do that.
The new layout, won't that work? Mirror my camera.
Yeah, where's that?
Right there.
There it is.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go. You can bring up some in a little bit too, some pixie, some fairy pictures. So
Yeah, I can.
okay.
If I can distinguish the difference because they look alike.
Okay. One has elf ears and the other's more humanoid.
Yeah, but to people who don't do their research, there's just going to be pictures of both of them mixed in, and you're not going to be able to tell which is which.
I bet you I'd get along with pixies and fairies.
I want a pixie.
Because I'm kind.
Oh, same.
But I'm fat. So they would say, hey.
Gotta
They
have a
might think
pixie
I'm a
garden.
troll.
We have to make a pixie garden.
Yes.
They live in gardens and like nectar.
We'll do it right here in front of the house. And we'll go out every day and say, hey, Pixie, are you there? I can make it out of like little.
And the neighbors are like, oh no, they're
Don't
doing
you
it
touch
again.
my pixie garden. Matter of fact, there's a little thing over there by that tree. I should go in there. Maybe there's a little pixie family in there.
People
Maybe
do
they
find
have-
abnormally sized tools and
they
things
might
they
have-
could.
They could have a little screwdriver, a little hammer. They could have built themselves a little hut. We don't
They
know.
could have.
We have to really look closely. Maybe we'll have to take a magnifying glass out of it. Okay, little pixie, where are you?
They're not that small.
We don't know. It could be a baby pixie.
Oh my lord, a baby pixie. Anyway, getting back kind of on the topic, how tall are they?
Taller than me.
Pixies resemble tiny elves, with reports placing them variously at 2.5 feet.
Feet? Is that right?
It says to as little as 1 foot in height.
What, really? 1 foot? That's a pretty big.
They're like elves.
So they're way different than, because fairies are only like 4 inches.
That's what I'm confused about. Like, what did we see that day? What did me and Abby see?
If you saw a fairy, and from what I know about fairies, what I just found out, like, yee.
I hope not.
Yee.
Oh Lord. Anyways,
I'm telling you.
that was all the information.
That's a very good question.
Probably not.
Well, if a pixie is that much bigger than a fairy, but they're nicer. They would be pretty intimidating to a fairy, though, wouldn't they? Because if
No,
they're
'cause
like,
what the fairies do.
well, that's true too. And
They
you
don't
said,
care how big you
yeah,
are. They don't
yeah,
care
that,
what you do.
yeah, especially if some of the stuff you told me. See, I did just only the research before we started, only on the differences, so how you could tell what the difference is between a pixie and a fairy. Gabriella went and done all the research on all the
Do's and don'ts.
do's
of
and
fairies
don'ts,
and
the
pixies.
yeah, the whole makeup and history and surroundings of pixies and fairies. So what she's telling you, I'm hearing for the first time too.
Fairies will throw hands. They don't care.
That's, I'm telling you, like
Yeah.
pixies are the smaller ones per lore. But which
Yeah, per
Gabrielle,
lore. So in different lores and myths and legends and whatever, you'll find so many different versions of pixies and fairies. But the one that I went off of, it says that they're basically elves with wings and they are nice.
hey, as
They're like
long
a
as
little
they're
home
nice,
elf,
I don't care. Then I guess I'm gonna have to make a bigger thing out there for them instead of a little
a
tiny
little
one.
flying elf.
Because if I put one that small that I was thinking, then I'm gonna attract fairies, not pixies.
Well,
I want to attract pixies because those old fairies are nasty, like they're telling me they can be.
on in the lore that I was reading, they're pretty bad.
I heard too.
So this is what I got on fairies because that was all for the pixies, which is kind of sad. But everything that I clicked on was pretty much the exact same, and I tried to stick with the same lore the whole time, or the same like myth.
So we'll have to
legend,
do
whatever.
another one on different lores on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we can include the nymphs, the imps, and the sprites.
With
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the wisps.
Did we just blow out our mic? No,
What
we
is a
didn't. Okay.
wisp?
As
How
far
do you
as
explain a wisp?
I know, it's like a little glowing light in like an area in the woods, and it leads you somewhere.
But is it more like a fairy type thing, or is it more like
Well,
a?
people think it's like a kind of like a spirit guide.
Oh, really?
Like it's a spiritual orb that helps you follow
Hmm.
something that's in need of help or something
So
like
stay
that.
tuned for our next show, which will be wisps, sprites, imps, nymphs.
Childhood fairy tales being crushed. I know, Linda.
Yeah.
You would not believe when I started doing this research and then I thought of like Tinkerbell and everything like that as a child growing up, and then knowing what I know now, especially about fairies, if Tinkerbell was a fairy, it's something. Yeah, I already did that one.
Oh, did you? Peter Pan will never be the same again.
If you think about it though, Tinkerbell was pretty manipulative. If she didn't get what she wanted, she got mad and she would have people do what she wanted, or
Everybody
wouldn't be
has their
good.
limit. Everybody has their limit. They got that push button. Can't push Tinkerbell's buttons too much. Peter Pan wasn't all that.
Yeah, but even in like the Peter Pan movies, he asked her if she killed somebody, and then she like giggled about it. See what the?
What is
They're
9277?
supposed to be light and dark fairies, and some are human-sized and pass as humans, supposedly.
What's a 9277?
It's that song. Intermission.
Yeah, intermission.
You have to drink something. Intermission over.
Ding, ding, ding.
Time to talk about fairies. This is,
Oh, what's that then? That sounded like a bird.
that was a bird.
What's a DIN?
Dinner.
Okay. We're losing our shit.
I
Don't
don't know.
mind.
I don't know
Okay.
what din is
Go
supposed to
ahead.
mean.
Continue with fairies. To be continued.
Anyways, so fairies. This is the lore that I found. It, like I said, there's a whole bunch of lores for fairies and pixies and myths and legends and everything else. So we're gonna talk about this one today, and then on a different time.
Does it say the lore for what area? Did you find out for what area's lore it is about?
Maybe.
Is this around the British yet, since this was
No,
over?
European. Listen to me
Where at
read
in
my
Europe?
dang things.
We're at in Europe.
I don't know. It's just the European folklore.
Okay. Jeez, she's getting
God.
testically with
Wait,
me.
you're clicking on the dang comment. Unclick it so it's
I'm
not there all the
sorry.
time.
I am.
Crow, raven? Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It does sound like a,
Maybe a crow.
that's what it sounds like.
Crow.
Yeah. That's what I don't
Oh,
understand. It
dang.
says DIN.
Maybe you can change it or something. I don't know. Anyways, fairies. What is a fairy? So most might think of a beautiful human-like miniature figure with wings of a butterfly. But fairies are not always in this image. They actually have many shapes and sizes. They also have different meanings. Fairies have been around of ages, appearing in, I think it's supposed to say 4 ages?
No,
But
they write it of ages. That's just
of
labeled.
ages,
Yeah.
appearing in many stories, myths, and legends, originating mainly from European folklore. Fairies are often associated with plants and springtime, depicted as pure figures who possess magical powers. But
Interesting. But
fairies,
I noticed that, but we don't have it like,
so it says, fairies in these myths may be of the more cartoonish variety and
what? Well, that,
signify simply love, magic, and springtime, but most signify things like death, sexual depravity, abduction, and general immorality.
wow.
So
Wow.
they're
They're little rascals.
yeah,
Like bad little rascals.
they're something.
Yeah. They got bad stuff going in their mind. Bad little
So like
fairies.
I was telling mom, there was this one page that I found while I was doing my research, and this lady was describing fairies, and in a bunch of old artwork, you'll actually it symbolizes fairies and what they're capable of and everything like that. In the one that I saw, there was a fairy, and she described all of them and everything. There was a fairy that didn't like his fairy baby. This sounds crazy. So apparently what they would do is they would exchange a human baby for their fairy baby because they thought it would be easier to take care of. And
So if you're missing a baby,
go look for
those
those dang
damn
fairies.
fairies.
Dean,
If they're
I
only
go get
four-
those fairies.
If they're only 4 inches high, how are they supposed to take a human baby?
Well, these, yeah,
Well, because
their
they're
powers.
changelings, though. Yeah,
And their powers.
yeah, they make them levitate. So if you see a levitating baby, the little fairies levitating that baby in exchange for one of their.
Oh my gosh. You can click off the dang comment again.
I'm sorry.
She shouldn't be allowed to touch
I'm
buttons.
sorry. See, kind of creepy with changelings.
Just have the guys with reversible white jackets on speed dial. Oh man.
Linda.
Anyways,
Linda,
we're gonna
Linda.
get back to the topic on hand. Maybe. Yeah, that's Yeah.
That makes
That's
sense.
not what I was talking
yeah.
about, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
What the heck is... Oh, that's gunshot.
Yeah.
I was like, what's G-shot? Anyways, what powers they... No. What they do. What do fairies do? So in the tales of fairies, they are more often than not mischievous creatures with dark and evil intentions. The Latin root word for fairy is fae, meaning fate. This could signify the purpose of fairies within myths. Fairies in stories are constantly messing with the fates of humans.
Maybe that's why we have the issues that we have.
We're being possessed by fairies, guys.
Damn
Help us.
fairies.
Send help. I can't remember if they changed those sickly kids or what. I can't
Yeah.
remember if they changed those sickly fairy kids or sickly human kids.
It's just, it could be their kid, just, they might just,
Yeah,
it doesn't, they don't really have to have a reason if
yeah,
they just
I don't think that it has to be sick or anything wrong with it. If they feel like something's wrong with it, then they're going to switch it out for
or they
a
just don't
human
want it.
child. Or that. They're like, I don't want
Let's say, I don't want this kid. I'll give it to you.
We're gonna with this
Yeah,
winged
like,
thing. I want a
okay.
non-winged thing
Yeah,
that's gonna grow
no,
like 8 feet
yeah.
tall.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Okay, so the powers that they have and possess there are 15 of them.
Damn.
So obviously there's flight. They have magic, which is spell casting. Photokinesis, which is the core feature in fairy magic and can be used for a number of purposes other than offensive blasts.
Wow.
4 is mental manipulation.
That explains a lot.
5, invisibility. Those little bitches can go
That
invisible.
explains more.
6, telekinesis.
Wow.
7, teleportation. Douglas!
There Douglas is.
Douglas, we haven't seen you in so long.
It's actually Diana.
Abby's here too.
Abby. Woo woo. Abby. Douglas. Woo woo. Douglas. Woo woo.
Okay, getting back on topic.
We be losing it, man.
Their 8th power that they possess, it says animal, which means the ability to speak to animals in its native tongue. So if they're talking to a raccoon goes, they can do that back and it'll understand
Maybe
what it's
that's
saying.
what's talking to Max and Sia. We have a fairy in the house. It's harboring in here somewhere.
Well, could be. Anyways, they have dimensional transportation, which I thought was kind of crazy. Like, what dimensions are these fairies going to, and what are they doing there, and why are they coming back? Missed you both. I'll be changing jobs soon and should be able to be available for you.
Oh, that's okay, Douglas. We understand, but we appreciate you coming in when you can. You have to have your job. You have to go to work. So, yeah, we always enjoy having you here when you can make it. So, thank you for trying all the time, and we appreciate you showing up tonight. So, we understand. But that would be nice having you on regularly. You're going to be catching some craziness. And I'm not sure if you heard or not, but I have my own solo now too. I have an intro so far and a poetry hour with me and Abby. Other than that, I don't have anything else yet because it's new. So you can maybe catch us on there too, because on Thursdays Abby will be with me on that one. So, but okay.
Happy Saturday!
Woo woo!
I love this thing.
I do too.
Anyways,
we go thank your daddy.
its 10th power that it
Thank you,
possesses
Kiwi.
is enchantment. So it can enchant, I think, just things. Shape shifting.
See, I did not know fairies were shapeshifters, so that was something I learned.
That's kind of the changeling thing that.
Yeah, I did not know that though. That's kind of eerie.
They also possess healing and immortality. Immortality. So they're immortal.
So that answered my question from before.
No, because you're asking about pixies.
Well, I kind of meant either one or both.
So I guess pixies are not. They're not immortal, but they look like they're ageless. They
never age.
They grow to a certain thing, and then they're like, nah, I don't want to grow anymore. I'm just gonna stay this age forever. But yeah, they do possess the power of healing, but they probably won't use it on anybody in need. They have it, but. And 14 is nature manipulation, which means transforming into a fairy, a supernatural being deeply tied to magic and nature and realms beyond mortal understanding.
Wow.
So, would a fairy kind of be a skinwalker?
I don't know. We'll have to look that up. Could a fairy be a skinwalker? It would be
because it's a shapeshifter.
It would be cryptid either way, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's along that whole genre.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say genre. Species.
Oh,
whatever the hell you want to call it.
I consider it a cryptid.
Yeah, it would have to be, I guess. It's all supernatural shit.
Well, and the 15th one is pretty weird. It's called fairy aura. Fairies can coat themselves in an aura that originates from Avaton, which I guess is a place that they live. It's called Avaton. It's a fairy essence that gives off a radiating, beautiful energy that can cause an individual's emotions to feel positive if influenced by this aura.
So now that's kind of curious. If when you're walking through like a grassy or wooded area or somewhere and you see those luminous lights, I wonder if possibly they could be a fairy using their aura.
Could be.
That could answer some questions, depending on if you believe in that stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was interesting because I think some of these are like, especially with the fairy thing, I think that it went a little bit off the lore that I had to begin with, and it went to another lore. So I think some of these are like different types of fairies.
Now here's the question. They're not mainly spotted. Pixies and fairies are mainly garden, outdoorsy. Has there been any incidences where people say that they think they saw them indoor?
I doubt it. I didn't see anything about anybody seeing a pixie or a fairy inside.
Because I'm still wondering if that number 15 in particular, the aura, sometimes some of those mysterious balls, flashes of light that just
I don't know. Like, if you look at them and you feel like your energy has gone up and you just feel like a really good person or whatever, then maybe could be.
That's what I'm wondering.
But if you just look at them and they're like, huh, that's weird, where the freak did those come from? And then I guess it's not a fairy. Am I tripping?
It's not a fairy, there's a dragonfly. Oh my god.
Okay, well, intermission. I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay, so intermission.
Intermission.
Hey, if you want to grab another candy bar or something, go ahead and do it. Um, So while she's going for intermission, let me see. If there's anything I missed there. There's a lot of stuff on there that I did not know. Like I really did not know at first. I mean, I thought fairies. Gabriella had hinted a while ago that she said not hinted. She says, "Mom, I'm pretty sure that fairies, if you see one, that when they saw it down at South Carolina, that they're not good." And hi, Michael. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I did not know that they could be mean little suckers. I just thought that hey, Messenger, Abby, you mean Facebook? Checking out, walking a mile, walking a mile, walking a green mile. I don't know why I said don't mind me. What am I supposed to be looking at, Abby? Okay, wait a minute. Oh, wow. You are bruised, and I knew you were going to. Abby, as we was talking about, fell down the steps the other day, and she just wanted to show me. She said her arm feels better, but she just sent me a picture. They're away on vacation right now for the weekend, and um her arm is starting to bruise now. Cactus, isn't there something called like a fairy circle that you're not supposed to step in? Am I remembering this right? I thought I remember hearing something about that. I'll have to ask Gabrielle if she found that in her research. It seems to me, though, Cactus, that I heard that same thing too about a fairy circle, but a lot of the stuff that she's researched on, I had no clue about. I did not know um, any of that. Let me see.
Yeah, there is in a different, like,
Yeah, so
in like current time, fairies are apparently very nice and they okay, I guess depending on the location. If you're in like a wooded area where there's like not a wooded area,
can they
like
hear
a
you without this on?
yeah, they can
Okay,
hear me.
yeah,
I
okay.
can't hear
Oh, you
myself.
can't hear. Yeah, that's right.
If they are if you're in like an area where there's a lot of land and then there's a fairy circle that appears, it's supposed to be a bunch of mushrooms in a circle and you're not supposed to touch it or anything, but you know, people they
So,
trip
in other
into
words, if
it.
you're going through somewhere and you see like a circle of mushrooms, it's a fairy circle.
Yes, that's because they don't normally form.
What do they use? Poison mushrooms?
I don't
The little
know.
bastards. It's like those little shadow
They
bastards. I
might.
like. Nobody wants to see that, Pete.
Yeah, that's my research.
There's a lot of crazy lore about. Michael, did you, since you do a lot of research and a lot of your own shows and that on, of course, Mysteries of the Unknown and that, Mysteries Untold, have you done them on fairies? Hmm.
Well,
Can
see,
somebody put up the links for
the thing,
Michael B. Squared, all of them? So please be sure not only to catch our channels, but to catch everybody else's channel that's on here. This is Pair Unity. We want everybody's channels to be shown.
he said no, not yet. I'm planning on it when I cover Ireland.
Now, are you going to cover too, Michael, like the whole nymphs and wisp and imps and sprites and the whole kit and caboodle when you do it?
Yep, he is.
Okay, cool. Very, very, very cool. I like that. So, yeah, we'll be staying tuned. Actually, anytime if any of you guys want to come on and talk, you can either call in here. We can do you on a call like that, or we can bring in on StreamYard, and you're more than welcome to chat on at one of our shows. So I know I love that stuff too, Michael. This stuff is just all fascinating. Um, like there's like me and Eric, we were watching the other day the thing on the squonks, and they showed that other one, and just the whole story behind those is just it's sad. Like you watch and you're there like, oh my goodness. And then we saw one on Mothman, we saw one in Dogman, we saw the Lizard Man. Like there's so many out there that's so interesting that we just watched Laura's the other day on Bigfoot, which Pennsylvania every year has a big Bigfoot festival. It's not a cryptid or anything, but tomorrow's Punxsutawney Phil Groundhog Day.
And he's
That's
gonna be a father. Well, no, he's a father for
Yeah.
the first year.
Not for the he's been humping it. He's had lots of babies. Him
Okay,
and
well,
Philomena.
they're
But I
saying
think the original Punksy died, and I think this is a new Punksy. But his wife was Philomena.
Yeah.
They had lots of
they
babies.
said that he's a
Him was
father
the
for the
busy
first year.
groundhog, and it wasn't like the Bigfoot love. It was just pure groundhog, lovey dovey, and baby
Like
groundhogs.
mother groundhog or father groundhog.
They love each other a lot, and they see that glimmer in each other's eyes.
And one through the shadow of the other doesn't.
Oh my goodness, goodness, goodness.
Okay, so I think we should get back on topic.
Yes,
with
we should
fairies.
get back on topic. Oh my goodness.
So now that we learned about the aura, the fairy aura.
Yes, you got it right, Cactus. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We're going to talk about what their weaknesses are, what a fairy's weakness is. So it says, in most folklore, iron is the only metal that can cause human-like injuries to a fairy, and usually a part cut off with iron cannot be restored. Iron chains can be used to restrain a fairy.
God, Pee-wee, your breath.
Or restrict their magic.
Oh my gosh.
You got stinky breath.
Oh.
You got stinky breath.
Ooh. You wouldn't believe how Punxsutawney Phil, like Tom on Friday, or was it even on Thursday yet? It was either yesterday or Thursday. He said he had to go to Punxsutawney for his job, and the people that are swarming there already for this Groundhog Day celebration is just it's amazing how many people show up for that. So, Michael, I changed my name because I left the paranormal investigating film to write real ghost stories based on actual claims throughout 50 states now. So, I know I noticed that, Michael. Congratulations to you. I think you're doing a hell of a job so far. I mean, you do your research. You definitely know what you're talking about. So, to you, I mean, good job. You deserve a lot of recognition. Eric, somebody put Michael's channel on there. We're looking him up. But yeah, I'm real happy for you. Wish you much success. And I've caught you a couple times, as you know, like on Angelina's and Laura's shows and stuff like that. And Susan, I haven't been on Susan's too much lately because it seems like when we're getting ready to film ours or somebody else's is on, we're trying to catch as many as we can and jumping in, and I seem to be missing more than I'm catching. So I have to play catch up by watching them on the replay. So
Wait, you're on my research.
Pee-wee said, I don't care.
He's like
See,
the monkey on...
Linda called for him to sabotage you. She called for him.
Listen, he's like the monkey from Oz the Great and Powerful, where Oz is drawing down the plans and everything, and then he sneezed and blew away the plans.
I told you though, Linda told him to blow everything for you. See, it's the king. So,
What are you
um,
doing? Hey, go catch the fairies.
you want your coffee. So, what else do you have?
P, if you bite, don't bite that corner of
Kiwi.
the screen.
Be good boy. No be brat. Kiwi be brat. Kiwi be brat.
Okay, so these are some things that fairies don't like. Fairies don't like change or dirtiness. And it says you cut down a certain tree and they are liable to curse you with death.
Are they drawn to certain types of trees?
Probably.
You know what they would be? Probably not.
Probably not. I don't know. Look, he smudged it.
Pee-wee.
You blew away the plants.
You smudged. He looks up at her like, oh my goodness, I love you so much, human. I never seen a cat look at a human like the way he looks at her. Sometimes a little creepy.
He's got an obsession.
Oh, okay. Michael said they like oak and elm.
Makes sense.
Makes sense to me. I like oak and elm. Maybe I'm a fairy.
Are you a fairy?
A mean one. I'll cast a spell on you.
Do it. And hawthorn, I believe. We're gonna have to do our more research.
Yeah,
and find
we?
out- Yeah, I can't do this by myself.
Yes, you can, because I'm doing research on other stuff like Aleister Crowley.
Fine, I have to do more research.
Aren't you guys happy to see her taking over more of the show for once than me? I'm sure that you guys are tired of hearing me yapping all the time and her just occasionally putting her little input. Isn't it better to see her taking over a lot too?
Can we all?
See? They cheered for it. They said, yeah. Our audience is amazing. You all go, yay. Yeah, everybody give Gabriella homework. Give her a list what you want her to look up. She'll have to mark it down. Do you have your pencil?
Pen or pencil.
Where's your pen and pencil? Mark it down.
Apartment.
I think there's an ink pen over there somewhere. You'll have to mark it, and then you have to keep it in here and do the research. I know you're like me, Michael. Like I mean, I got it pretty much on Aleister Crowley already, but every time I looked, there was more pages coming up, and I'm there like, wait a minute. Like if I try to get everything that I could find with a lot of it was being redundant, so I'd find the same information no matter which site I went on. And then there was other sites that there was a lot, but it was kind of going and just who he knew and who got into the occult with him and that. And I really didn't want to go in that direction because I want to focus on Alistair himself. So it's just that there's so much research. And then, of course, I'm sure considering you do your research, you just don't want to look at one, you do a lot of cross referencing. And if you're catching the same things in the same area of things, then you want to use it and mark it down because that makes it more credible, the more probable that it is actual facts surrounding him. So it's just that researching takes a lot. It's just like until you have everything done. And then there's always that margin of error. I'm always happy when I come out and do my Aleister Crowley thing. If I say something and somebody found something that was different than what I said, and you say, well, wait a minute, in my research, that's not what I found. I'm happy for you to tell me what you found. And, it's just, I guess it just depends on which site you go on for what information you're going to find. So, same as the lores of that's right, we got goblins in there too. What is goblins and elves? Are they all considered in the same I kind of thought goblins and elves was a little bit.
No, I think goblins are like the evil version of elves.
So we're gonna have to do goblins and elves sometime then too.
Because if a pixie is pretty much an elf with wings,
And Michael goes, let's see. So Cactus says, I totally enjoy hearing all you share, Diane, Gabby, and Abby. Always so fun and interesting. Thank you. Thank you. That's what we want. That's why I'm hoping we can get these channels to grow a little bit. It's like we said the other day, we're not out for views and that for monetary reasons. I would like to get the views and subscribers only because that shows us that you're really, really interested in what we're doing and you're actually enjoying it, that you're not sitting there as, oh, geez, do I have to sit through another time of this? Oh my gosh. We want it to be real interesting in that. So we like to see, the channel picking up and that. So far, everybody that's come on has been totally fantastic. We probably have the best moderators ever. And I'm claiming that we got the best moderators. We do, we do. So let me see. Let me see what this one is. It might not be. I'm trying to get some of these.
mother, you can scroll up.
I'm trying to. Just wait a minute. Is that the one that I wanted? Yeah. The hardest part is trying to understand an actual investigator's shorthand was the hardest thing for me to exactly for me to translate to proper English. Get the Gabby, I wasn't chatty when I was your age. Okay, right there. Yeah, that one. Okay, Douglas, there's a podcast called The Nonsense Bazaar that goes into the background of a lot of esoterica like uh Crowley and a lot of the groups that came from him and Madame Blavatsky. I don't have Madam on my research, I don't think, and I do have others. I mean, there. I kind of wanted to focus mainly on him, and then some of the more modern magicians that musicians and some magicians, but mainly the more modern day that followed off of his teachings and tried to get in that like I'm calling it the birth and the death of Aleister Crowley because I want to show how the whole thing about him kind of started, which I want to save that for my podcast. Um, it's just he's a very interesting character, but even though he got into the occult and Satanism and that type of that area of supernatural, whatever you want to call it, he kind of had a little bit of a reason for it. And it goes back and I hate to say it, but it's the same as how cults start. It goes back to religion. And it's sad because everybody, you teach your kids that religion's good and this and that, but a lot of like if the occultist and cult followers, which are two different things, but they all seem to be tied in with religion somehow and how religion went bad and created something that's beyond the norm. So the occult is in part with Aleister Crowley was caused because his family was very religious and it was almost I hate using the word indoctrinated, but then you get like um, Jim Jones, David Koresh, Charlie Manson, and that they claimed to be very, very Christian and that God spoke to them, and that's how they had their cult followers. So it's just sad that when you do a lot of research like that, a lot of it ties into the foundation was religion. And that's kind of like that's where it kind of gets creepy in that. But I wanted to there was reasons, and Douglas, you probably know, and Michael, I'm sure you probably know in your research between the two of you, a lot about Aleister Crowley and how a lot of that stuff came about, and it's kind of, yeah, I was always fascinated by his story for a long time. I just never knew. You always hear Crowley, Crowley, Crowley. You never knew. And then when I started learning more, I'm there. Okay, he's really an eccentric and a really mysterious, intriguing guy. So Douglas, oh for sure, a lot of cults came from him and Blavatsky. Although the Ascended Master stuff can be traced back to in part both of them. More Blavatsky, but still, exactly, exactly. That's it right there. And what's the deal with them always being in an all white or tan van? I want to know that myself.
More
Why
room,
is
I
it that
guess.
way? Well, I guess I don't know. That does seem to fit a pattern. It's just like it's always, a lot of people say, oh, that's just, just coincidence or whatever. No, no, it's just, it's, you see that's where it kind of gets all creepy. So, but like I said, a lot of people, they don't understand that. Like, and when I start off with my Aleister Crowley thing, I want, because I think people think occultism and cults are the same thing, and they're not. One usually starts with Christianity, but ends up going in the other direction. And cult followers usually surround very so-called Christian people that mind control or whatever you want to call it, and lures the followers into their beliefs and having them believing in the apocalypse and the end of the world and all that, and luring them in. So there's a big difference between the two. So, um, I really don't know a lot B squared about Blavatsky's, although I did see the name mentioned in it with my research on Aleister Crowley. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that. Like I said, I really didn't want to tie other names in a lot with the whole documentary history that I'm going to do. I don't know how long it is. I have several pages, but of course they're hand printed. I don't have them typed out, but I will like read some, do my little commentary on it. Now, I still don't know if when I do that, which might be as early as tomorrow, if I'm just going to do it, film it, and then show it afterwards, just record it and have it as a video, or if I'm going to do it as a live. I'm still not sure what direction I'm going to go with that yet. I don't want to do all lives all the time, except for with the real talk with Gabriella and me, like tonight. But on my own, the other side, some of them will probably be videos, and some of them will be live. But the poetry hour will always be live. So if that makes sense, and that'll be that interactive. So we'll do our poetry. We had our first one the other night. We had some people on. Hope they enjoyed it. I know Linda did. She was watching, so appreciate it very much. Oh, that scared me. That was the dogs. Okay, so you have any more, Gabriella?
Yes,
Okay, I'm sorry.
I do.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was a segue.
Getting back to the fairies, which isn't even a topic in the chat anymore either.
Well, we're going to get back to the fairies. We still want to learn more about the fairies.
What they eat. So, like, what the pixies ate, and now fairies eat. So it says their favorite foods include nectar, morning dew, flower buds, honey, nuts, fruit, especially berries of all kinds, fresh baked bread, fruit jams and jellies, syrups, candy, and fruit pies. Some are also quite fond, addicted even, to alcohol, especially wines and sweet liquors.
Okay, where are they getting this stuff from? Where are they getting the fresh baked bread? and the
They're fairies.
jams and the fruit pies. Do they make little fairy breads and what like?
No, they're fairies, so they can do whatever they want. Manipulate people, shapeshift. They
So
can
yeah,
pretend
but still, how they get them? Were they somebody out
Mom,
camping or something?
they
They're
could
saying
pretend to be like a cat or something and grab it and like beg for food like an animal.
like you're talking about if they walk outside of a bakery or something or that, and meow meow, give me my
or
food.
somebody who's just like at their house or something and
Well, I was
smelled
thinking,
it.
my crazy mind was thinking people's outside camping. Now I'm gonna get one of your theories. People are outside, they're out there enjoying their little camping trip and they got their little fire burning, and then you get this little fairy coming up throwing their little magical spell shit on them, and they're hungry for a fresh baked bread or a fresh pie, and somehow they throw their little fairy spell on them and they have to make them a pie or a fruit or a
I mean,
loaf of bread.
they could do that too. They manipulate people, so they could be like, "Make me bread, make me pie."
I wonder if it's sourdough bread or regular bread.
Don't know. Fresh baked
Oh,
bread.
lordy, lordy.
Now getting into how tall they are, fairies are said to be human-sized or smaller, down to the height of 3 inches.
I
Or
did
less.
not know they could be human size. I really did not know that. It's probably because of their shape shifting abilities.
Yep. They could probably shapeshift into the tiniest little ant or the biggest human.
Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing.
And then one last thing is a fun fact, which is female fairies may tell fortunes, particularly prophesying at births and foretelling deaths.
So wait a minute. How do you tell? So if you encounter a fairy and you're not even sure it's a fairy, so a little female fairy got little boobies and little, so you know it's a female, and then
I guess
like how like I'm real confused.
there's got to be males and female fairies.
Well,
There
they have
wouldn't
to
be a
be, but still,
population.
usually they try not to appear like.
I don't think they care what their gender is. They just live. If they like,
But my worry is okay, if I'm running into a fairy, I'm going to want to know if it's a female so that she doesn't freaking pull some shit off. Like, I don't want her to prophesize my death or somebody else's death in my family. Like, I don't want to know that shit.
well, you don't want to run into a fairy
Well,
regardless.
not the way that you're telling me they can be.
It's not just the females that are bitches.
They're all bitches.
They're all bitches.
Bitches. Oh, Lord, help my soul.
Bunch of bitches.
There's a bunch of bitches. Michael, also signs of the fae in your house, strange orbs of light, tapping under the bed, missing. See, so they do come in the house, he's saying. And we have mysterious tapping. We see those weird orbs of light. So you're telling me those could be fairies tapping under the bed?
This is.
I thought I found somebody climbing in bed with me the other. I'm freaking out because I'm laying there in bed. Your dad had left for work, but I didn't know because he gets up and he's been very quiet. So he gets up to come down to get ready for work, and I'm still sleeping. Well, I thought he came back in and he didn't have work or something, and I feel something like behind me, like and almost like this behind me, and I'm there like, okay, that's weird because he usually goes on the other side, and they're like, he must just something must happen at work, and he just wants a cuddle or something. And I go like this, and there's nothing there, but I felt almost like the arms around me, and yeah, it was creepy.
That is very creepy.
So I don't know.
And animals looking into a corner and reacting to nothing.
And that
I'm not believing that we have damn fairies in the house.
well, this is all that's been happening to us. So do we have a fairy in the house?
Spirits do the same thing.
Well, they do, but you know that's kind of
And they're pretty much
well,
invisible.
isn't a fairy more or less kind of a spirit?
Well, I guess. So you're telling me that we could have an invisible fairy just lurking in the house at any
That would
moment?
explain those sparkly lights that we continually see.
There's got to be another explanation for those.
I hope there's
I'm
another
not
explanation.
believing
Unless
that we have
Okay.
a fairy in this dang house.
Wait till you research brownies, goblins, and leprechauns.
Imps
And there's the
and
imps. I thought
leprechauns.
imp was kind of like a fairy.
Oh,
No?
I don't know.
I know we're going to have a lot of
We
research.
got a lot of research to do.
You know, a lot of people, Linda, I'm glad you asked that because you're done with that now, right?
Yep.
Does anybody have any other questions about fairies before we go into the orbs and everything? Because Linda asked, orbs, can they be paranormal? You know, a lot of people don't believe in orbs, but it was, we kind of touched on it the other night with Abby on our poetry hour. I think it depends on, most of them you can debunk. Most of them are dust particles or bugs, or there's some kind of explanation for them. But as we were saying the other night in Gabriella's old room, when you're seeing like a pollen where it looks like you just walked into a scene from Stranger Things and they're all going in one direction, because dust and that's just like they just all over the place. But when they're all going in one direction and like towards a mirror or coming out of a mirror, going towards a TV set, coming out of a TV, and only when she walked in the room, because like I said, she would walk in a room and it looked like it was snowing in there. She walked out, they were gone. We walked in, we're there, okay, it has to be dust, because we tried to debunk it. I walked in, not an orb or anything at all. Somebody else walked in, not an orb at all. We walk out, she walks back in, here they come again, like it's snowing. So orbs, there has to be some paranormal in with the orbs. And then we caught one over at our local play yard over here the one time, and Gabriella took a real close up picture of it, and it looks like you could see all kinds of molecules and everything else. It's the weirdest looking.
That was at the furnace.
I thought that was over here. Was it at the furnace? Oh, okay. I thought it was over here for some reason. Okay, at the furnace, and it was the strangest thing we've ever seen. I mean, and then we kind of thought, well, maybe it was a raindrop, but one raindrop, there wouldn't have been other raindrops falling down. So to catch just that one, but it looked like it was like almost like
It looked like a cell.
yeah, like a cell. Exactly. I was going to say atom, but we're not talking about atom. It looked like a cell.
Yep.
It looked like the forming of a cell. It was just the weirdest. She probably still has that picture.
We have it on our YouTube channel.
Oh, that's right. You did put it on there, didn't you? I wasn't sure if you did or not. Yeah, exactly. Paranormal UFOs, so who can tell these days? You just can't. And Douglas says, the orbs, I feel it's different if you can see them with your naked eye or not. See,
Apparently,
these.
brownies are pranksters that like to knock.
Huh. Oh, we always hear tapping and knocking and everything, but we kind of dismiss it because the house is older and we have branches that kind of hit the house and different things. So we kind of just dismiss all of that right off the bat.
Pixies are usually the ones that appear in the form of light.
Let's go down to Cactus. So Cactus says, are orbs only light, bright? Because I've seen a dark orb looking thing kind of often, and I don't know what to think. I don't think I've ever seen a dark orb. Have you? I've only seen the ones that like emanated their own light.
I've heard of them. I've never seen one in person,
Yeah,
and I don't think that's supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a dark one. So
What do you mean often? Like in your house often, or like where?
Because I don't know. Is it kind of a dark orb, almost like a little like shadow orb? Like, you mean something like that? Like,
Yes, my room started last year.
I don't know what that would be, Cactus. I've not heard of that. Um, Michael, do you know anything about that?
Like a ball darker than dark. Yeah, like I've heard of them. I don't know what
See,
they're
I've never
supposed to
even
mean. I've
heard of
never
them
seen one though.
because I've known shadows and stuff like that. I don't know of a. I'm gonna have to do a little research on that, maybe.
Yeah, generally that's thought of being more of a negative energy for dark orbs, but no one really knows.
That's the wonderful thing about the paranormal. Nobody ever knows. That's why we do what we do is to try to figure out that stuff. But I don't know. I would imagine. I don't want to like be negative, but I would not think that something like a dark orb would be.
Michael said the same thing.
Yeah,
Negative according what I've read, but I'm not 100% on that.
that's what I would think. I would not think because anything that like shadows and that, um, you can't even with shadows, but orbs.
It could, like, I mean, this is going like way out there, but what I'm thinking it could be is a spirit that can't like fully manifest itself into an orb. So it kind of shows up as like a ball of darkness.
Well, that's like we was talking the other day about like elemental type spirits and that. Like if you get energy that was from somebody that was not a good person when they were alive, like a somebody that died a horrible death that was murdered, or somebody that was like a serial killer that had a lot of anger or a lot of pain and sorrow,
Yeah,
and
some
they
people
come
say
back.
that like orbs are like the soul of the spirit that passed on. So it could very well just be that that spirit might have been depressed or
So it's coming
so
through as a dark
yeah,
orb.
so it came through as something that might look negative but might not at all have any danger to it.
You see, that's what. And it gets to that old thing with demons and evil and stuff like that. A lot of people jump to that conclusion. I really personally like Twin Paranormal, but every place they go, it's demonic. No, we know there's not going to be not demonic stuff every single place they go. But I still like watching them. They're entertaining. But that's what I've been saying all along. Like, I think depending on how your spirit's coming through, and if you're depressed, if you suffered a lot and you went through a lot of sorrow and pain, or if you were nasty and you're trying to manifest and it happens to be an orb, I would say if it's negative as
I
far
would,
as,
yeah, I would say
yeah.
if like it showed up and you start feeling like negative thoughts or start feeling weird about it, then I would might want to worry about it. But if it just kind of shows up, hovers there, and then disappears, I don't think that there's anything to be afraid of.
So B squared wants to know, does the orb have any emotion or energy, Blossom?
Does it seem to do like just the same thing over and over and over again, or does it actually like float and then disappear?
That could, and I don't know how many people like, okay, she says, but a whole heap of drama was happening in my personal family life last year too, so I was worried. We watched, and I don't know how people feel about the show. We watched it a lot. The Dead Files with Amy Allen, and it had Steve DeShavi in it and Amy Allen, and of course, Steve DeShavi was the retired police detective, and she was, of course, a medium. Some of the things that she was saying that if you're going through trauma in your family, that could bring on a lot of stuff even poltergeist activity. And it doesn't mean that it's anything evil, but it's just that it manifested because of all the things that was happening in the house. We think that's why some of the stuff down at our old house was getting bad, because there was a lot of stuff going on at the time on top of the paranormal activity that we were already experiencing. So it's like it manifested to something a little bit darker. I don't know if anything was ever to the point was gonna harm us in any way until the very end. It got so dark at the very end. I think it was something was going to happen if we stayed there. In your case, if there was a lot of stuff in that going on in the house, I think it just been manifested because of that negativity, but I don't think it's really anything to worry about, unless the drama and stuff gets a lot worse. But even then, it's still going to manifest on how the situation is, I believe. You agree?
Yeah, I mean, like B Squared said, she was like, I wonder if your emotions manifest through the orb.
Yeah, that I do think, because like I said, and when we watched a lot of those episodes, I know the one family in particular that in the house that she was at, they were going through a lot of there was paranormal activity going on to begin with, and they were all at each other's throats and everything. They just got all ugly with each other. And I think one of the kids had he was either on the spectrum for autism or had autism, and it just kind of made things a lot worse in the family with the anger and that, because they didn't want it to affect him. But the more anger and that came out with the husband and the wife, and that the more it seemed to manifest with the child and affect the child. And it was just, it was like negativity will bring on. I tell that to Tom a lot. Tom, like, I love him to death, but a lot of times he's very, very negative. Like, he thinks negative about a lot of things. And I'm there like, hon, you do realize the more negative you think, the more negative things are going to happen. Just, yeah, things might not look good in that, but try to think positive, because if you project positive energy is going to come back to you. And I believe that wholeheartedly. You're going to get what you project. If you project good, you're going to get good back. If you're projecting negativity and bad, then that's going to feast off of you. So, yes, I have an astigmatism, but it wasn't a flare of light like a normal have. It was just a ball circulated and focus on reading if there was a vibe off of it, because I didn't want to. It just could be a minor start of a manifestation of because of the stuff going on, but I just kind of keep an eye on it. The best thing you could do, what I would do, Cactus, is make it like a little journal. Every time you see it, see if it happens at the same time during the day, see if it happens only when some drama happens, like when you see it, when what's the circumstances around it when you're seeing this. Just kind of keep like a little journal and kind of go from there. Douglas says, well, quite a bit of paranormal claims seem to happen when people are in some sort of turmoil or strife, like it generates activity or attracts it. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I've watched so many different channels and shows and research, and it all the same thing. And I know that's what was happening down the house, our old house. It was like there was a lot of turmoil going on there. Our frustration too with us wanting to move out, trying to get back up here to Pennsylvania, and it got bad because that all that turmoil and negativity just kept on being projected over and over, and it was feeding on it, because that's what happens. I think it feeds off of that negative energy. Michael, sorry about what I said on the orbs. I'm kind of skeptical believer on that subject because it's kind of iffy. It is an iffy subject, Michael. Um, Gabriella, I'm talking and talking and talking. You can jump in. I'd like to hear you
You're
talk.
talking.
I know you can talk.
I'm getting tired. It's
I just
almost
feel
like
I'm
2
getting
hours.
tired too, and I just feel like I'm rambling on and on and on.
Yeah,
But Michael, you're on a lot of shows. Like you're on Angelina's, you're on Laura's. You know, you're on all the same shows pretty much that I tune into, and you know, if you're going to be a good researcher, a good paranormal investigator, anybody involved in that field, you're going to be very skeptical about orbs because most of them you can dismiss as just there's some explanation usually for them. I was totally skeptical about orbs at first until we started encountering some of them, like I said, in her bedroom and elsewhere, and that like we tried debunking. Okay, could it be car lights? Could it be dust? Could it be bugs? Could it be this? And every route that we tried, like the one place we were seeing these lights, and somebody said, "Oh, it's probably when we was doing our investigation at the church. It's probably car lights going by." Well, there was no windows there where we were seeing these orbs, so it would have been impossible for car lights to be going by. So I don't know. Linda, there's so much unknown. That's why the paranormal is so fascinating. Exactly. And sad truth is we may not ever know. But the bad thing is somebody might come out with the most concrete, amazing thing, but there's going to be somebody out there that they're going to think they're going to have an explanation for it. So it's almost like it's depressing because you know that you could be the one that finds this, but at the same time, you know somebody's probably going to say, "No, I can give you a full explanation," and then the whole rest of the paranormal world will agree. And it's a fear of mine that that one person might find that incredible evidence, and that's it. Michael, my grandma's house has orb activity, but 98% of the time it's going over the security camera. All I see is bugs or dust. I rarely see one that is its own light. 98% of the time, it probably is bugs or dust. I keep an eye on what direction they go in. If they do emanate their own light, a pattern, like do they just appear and totally disappear real quick? Like a lot of different things like that, because most of them you can dismiss. And Cactus, yeah, a couple family members in the house very negative. Me, I try to stay balanced personally, not experience depression or whatnot, just dealing with being stuck in the middle of family drama. I know what that's all about. When I was growing up, right before my dad died, he was an alcoholic, and there was a lot of drama and negativity going on in the house. And I'm actually surprised we didn't have a lot of weird activity and shit and that going on at that time because I had to deal with a lot at that time. So we're going to try to do this, and we're going on almost 2 hours. It's getting late, so we're going to try to get off here soon. Douglas, at a cemetery near me, there were stories of red orbs called Grovers. We did seem to debunk them since people only found them around what we found out was the pump house for the water with a motor. I never heard of a red orb, but if you debunked it from the pump house, then that's the whole object. That's the whole thing is, if you're going to try to be professional, that you're going to try to debunk it um, the best that you can. A motor that would go on periodically. Grovers come out to play. People would say outside this little shed and banging would happen, but there's a well and a pump motor in there. That's probably what it was. 9 times out of 10, you're going to find something like that. It's going to seem like it's paranormal or something at first, but there's usually an explanation. Blossom, B square blossom. I find weird things happen under stress, but then you have to wonder if it's a lack of sleep or distraction. Exactly. Cactus, I have more to share about the drama and the kick up of weird activity, but I'll save that for another time or I'll email you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gabrielle and I are going to try to get 2 shows in during the week if we can. This one here on Saturday is kind of out of the ordinary. We're going to try maybe I'd like maybe one weekday and one weekend, but it's gonna
It was
depend
supposed to
on
be Tuesday and Friday.
yeah, yeah. So we're gonna try to
No,
get
Tuesday and Thursday.
we're gonna try to get to a schedule. It's even Tuesday and Thursday, because even if I do mine on Thursday, well, mine and Abby's poetry hour is for an hour. We're trying to keep that one just for an hour. So even if we go on after that, that'll still work. So, but we're gonna try to keep a regular pattern. It's just sometimes it's not that easy because things come up. She has a life, we have a life. Sometimes things come up with her and Dylan that has to be taken care of and different things, but we'll try to keep on a, regular, pattern here. Let me see. The ones I've seen had their own, it's like really glimmer and then it's gone. See, that's the one, like, you have to kind of put a question mark by that, because if they come and go real quick and they kind of like glimmer or they have their own light, then you kind of have to wonder. You have to, I mean, I don't think anybody's automatically gonna put the word paranormal with it, but at the same time, you're gonna put that big question mark, "Okay, then I don't know what this is. How do I explain it?" So, cactus would be a wonderful guest. So the Grovers, okay, here's a question for you by B Squared, Michael. So were the Grovers from the metal on metal?
I think it was to Douglas, actually.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Yeah. Okay, Douglas, we debunked it thanks to kids having busted the lock on the door. We looked inside and told the cemetery association about the broken lock when we left. So, yes, you missed poetry hour. You can catch it on the replay though. B squared. Abby and I had it on at 8 o'clock on Thursday, and I think it went over pretty well. Let me catch it. Make sure everybody you subscribe. New channel. I'm very proud of it. I'm hoping that it picks up. I'm going to do my best to try to make it successful. Again, I'm not out for money or that, but I really would like the likes and the subscriptions to if people subscribe. Hit that notification button though, because that way you can get notified that I am releasing a video. Same as all of these were really bad, and I apologize. We're really, really sucky for putting schedules on saying, "Okay, we're gonna have it live." It's usually last minute, but we're gonna try to change that in the future too, so, um, let's see, poetry hour every Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, our time. So, yes, and that poetry hour is Abby and myself, and that's on my show, The Other Side. So that answered B squares on The Other Side. Um, let's see. The Grovers were what kids thought this banging was, and photos would show red orbs mixed with white orbs around it, but early digital cameras caught those so easily on moisture drops. So, okay, so if does anybody else have any comments or anything? Because we're almost going on 2 hours. Gabrielle, I think's like half asleep.
Yeah, I'm like,
I was up since probably about 5 o'clock this morning. I tried to lay back down until the dogs started barking and I had to go out this morning around 7. Um, and then Tom and I actually got to go out and have a dinner and had just a little time for ourselves today, which was nice. Woo woo! So we needed it. We're gonna try to get that more often too, because he's just busy constantly. We just don't have time for each other privately. So that was very nice and relaxing. We went out to eat today and that. So real happy about that. But I kind of think we're going to wrap this up now. I cannot thank all of you enough for coming on and showing up on here. You guys are just awesome. I'm going to see if I can find a quote here to end with like we normally do. I don't want to just say hasta la vista, baby. I don't want to do that.
Hold on.
Hold on, what?
Got you.
Wasn't there a fairy quote?
What?
A fairy quote.
No.
Yeah, there's fairy quotes. Let me see. Okay, we'll just go from Tinkerbell and that from Peter Pan or whatever. We'll just do that one. So since we were talking about Tinkerbell, Peter Pan, and now we're going to say, do you believe in fairies? If you do believe, clap your hands. Yay! There you go. That was my ending quote, and I enjoy all of you guys. You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate you guys showing up faithfully. Douglas, it's so nice seeing you back on. I do understand your situation, and if you can hit us right now, we have lurking spirits for those that you may not know, like Cactus and Douglas. We do have some investigations coming up here, so we're going to have a little bit of new material coming up on lurking spirits. Um, then there's the real talk here with me and Gabriella. Of course, we're going to try to hit that 2 times a week now, if we can. Not no promises, and we're going to try to say, okay, we have this scheduled at this time. Linda, keep on our ass about it. You're our ass kicker and kicks us into shape. Same as Eric. Get our ass going. And then, of course, then I have my the other side with Diane. That's always going to be, I'm going to say Mondays and Thursdays. Thursdays are poetry hour, but I'm going to try to hit maybe Mondays and Thursdays, or I don't know what the first day is going to be. I think it just depends on, maybe it'll even be Sunday and Thursday. I don't know, because I might come out with that Aleister Crowley one tomorrow. So I might end up doing Sunday and Thursday. So with our quote and everything, and I don't, like I said, I'm going to try to come up with that tomorrow. With that being said, we can do what we normally do and say adios, amigos. We love y'all. And we will say tune in and
Peace out.
love y'all. Bye.